Hey, it's Soul with another segment of You Know What Would Be Cool? It's where I invite folks for a chat and I present an idea for the world of Warcraft. And I promise you folks, unlike the thing on Mythic Raids from the other day, this one is for everybody. So hit the like button, subscribe for more WoW commentary, and you know what would be cool? If we got a robust feature of mount customization in the game. I talked about this before on the topic of wanting to bring in new things, new goals for players to work towards. That's more than just the usual, like, get gear and pets and mounts, achievements, titles, and so on and so forth. But these goals ought to be less than, like having to go through some crazy grind to power something up only for it to go away at the end of an expansion or even a patch. Mount customization is exactly as it sounds, and we already have it now in Dragonflight, and I think that it has kind of fallen under the radar a bit. What makes this idea very cool is that it's not new, it's not even new to World of Warcraft, like it's there right now. But what we ought to do is start throwing ideas around to expand on customizing mounts as a whole. I'm going to throw up the mount editing screen in Dragonflight to draw your attention for a little bit. Right now we're limited to just a handful of mounts, and in a patch or so we're going to get more, adding nether drakes and fairy dragons to the mix. Now that's cool for Dragonflight. It's thematic, it makes sense, whoop-de-doo, but now let's expand on this to a, and make it into like a bona fide evergreen system that hits a wider audience. And what better direction to go than the race-specific mounts that everyone eventually gets. It would be super cool if the WoW team added 2 unique mounts for each race. One that, just kind of stays on the ground, and one that is capable of flying. And these mounts could be customized. Ideally, it would be like almost as exhaustive as dragon riding mount customization. Realistically, that might not be feasible, but we're not really here to talk about what's feasible. We're here to talk about like what's cool. So let's try not to hold ourselves back too much. So, like, ideas would include, imagine these mounts, like horses, having customizable visual equipment. Of course, the horse would have, I guess they would have numerous color palettes and options like scars or something. Or how about sporting a flag to represent the human kingdom of the player's choice? Orcs could have something kind of similar on their wolves to represent their clans, and mounts can sport different kinds of armor coverings, or mount cloaks or something, or maybe change the shape of their heads, their eye colors, the adornments around the neck. You can put a freaking unicorn horn on a raptor, or give the Mechanostrider treads instead of feet. And here's what would be really neat. Let's give these mounts, I guess, hooks where we can hang some of our favorite weapons from. Not just one, but maybe like 2 or 3. It would be really neat if I could display a few of my favorite weapons or even shields across the broadside of the mount. And no doubt that these wouldn't clip very well at all. So we're going to have to think about how a weapon that a Tauren is wielding should probably retain its size, the weapon, if it were to be put on top of its Kodo mount. But for it to change its size just for the sake of fitting on there, it would be a little bit awkward, right? So anyway, 2 mounts per race with a whole bunch of options. So ideally these options would grow over time. We'll get a bunch right at the start, and then as expansions and patches go along, we get a little bit more on top of the weapons and whatever else that we would be able to put on them. But we wouldn't want these options to grow too much too fast, I don't think, because some human players, hey, some of them couldn't care less about having a horse and a griffin, like wow. And others might be like, hey dude, I love what I could do with my Elec, but I want more. Of course players are going to be like, dude, give us new mounts, and I agree, there's no sense putting all the eggs in one basket. So absolutely, the kinds of mount variety that we see these days, even in an expansion like Dragonflight, where dragon riding mounts really dominate, keep going with that sort of pattern too, of giving these different mounts. So, I mean, in fact, we already have a working model of how future expansions can look in a world of full-on mount customization. So, we're going to have these customizable racial mounts that I mentioned, which would be a tremendous effort in part of the team to give everyone these special mounts and options. But that's going to be like a one-time thing, barring any new races that are introduced. And then there's the kind of non-customizable mounts that we run in today. We get them from rare drops, vendors, achievements, quests, and so on and so forth. That's still going to happen. but maybe we'll see fewer recolors of these otherwise unique mounts in favor of other stuff. And finally, just like in Dragonflight, every now and then we're going to get a new mount that's available for everyone, and these can be customized. As for where we get all of these customizations, oh, that's hella easy. Like right now, we have dragon writing manuscripts, but those are limited to Dragonflight content, and that makes sense. The special racial mounts, though, they can simply be given to players as they're leveling up, so they would pretty much replace the original mounts, which can of course be bought later and elsewhere. And at level 40, the special flying mounts, those are going to be just given to players, this template. It's a very easy way to get started, and it includes a round of options as kind of an introduction. And since these are given at what's technically an early level, manuscripts or options or whatever they're going to call them, they can be found all over the game, every expansion. We're just limited to our imaginations. So new appearances can be thrown onto like old vendors, be they rare drops from old dungeons, old reps, or raids. They can be on the trading post, they could be achievements, they could be crafted. Like, it would be pretty cool if we could have like a blacksmith be able to make like fiery footprints for your horse or your wolf or your Kodo, Elk, whatever, or void-looking contrails on a specially made and customizable engineering rocket. Like, this really opens things up, and the best part is that the fundamentals of this sort of system, they're already here in game. You already know what this is and how it works. So I've got like big copium-laced hopes that they're only just getting started. And what I think the WoW team needs is just a reminder from us that, hey, we can see the potential, it's exciting, and we want more. A lot more, but that's just me. I think this would be super cool, but how about you? Share your thoughts in a comment, like the video, and hey, let's meet up again for more of this. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.